Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I obviously am sitting in my car right now. I have an appointment in a little bit, but I have some time first, and so I thought I would film my Q&A video. About a week ago on my Instagram story, I just put up an Ask Me Anything, any category of question, so I'm gonna do it right now. And because I have some time while I film this video, I'm also gonna do do my makeup, so like a makeup get ready with me. Not that it's anything worth watching, and not that I use anything revolutionary, but it gives like me something to do. I feel like just watching me talk for however long this is gonna take is not going to be as interesting as maybe if I'm doing something along with it. So I will do my makeup at the same time and crack my energy drink, and we will get going. Of all the questions that I got, I kind of narrowed them down into like 10 questions. I feel like some like share the same category, or if questions were similar, I kind of just grouped them into one. So I might like explain certain questions more than others if it was one that had like more people ask it. But I feel like we got some good stuff, and it's a good range of everything between like fitness stuff and wedding stuff, house stuff, teaching stuff. So let's get into it. First, for my makeup, does it seem like really bright in here? This is my first time using this like camera mount situation, and you're like mounted to like my rear view mirror but like hanging down. So, and I haven't used it yet, so I don't know how I feel about it. I already put lotion on my face, and again, nothing revolutionary. I use the it's like the CeraVe just moisturizing lotion, and I use the CeraVe face cleanser. My foundation is Bare Minerals, and I've used the same foundation since I want to say middle school. I had really bad acne growing up, especially in middle school, and this was like the first thing I used that I feel like actually helped clear my skin up. And I noticed that I have more breakouts when I don't use it than when I do. So I really like to use this, and this is in the color Light Neutral 2. I feel like it might be like a shade too light for me, and so I'm basically out, and I think I'm gonna get a darker shade next time. So the first question is, what is your fitness routine? So, see, this is like basic. Oh, okay. We're gonna open this up because I'm not trying to destroy my car with foundation. In the last, I would say, like year or two, I've really changed up my fitness routine because I was competing in powerlifting for so many years, and that required a really specific like training regimen. And at the same time, when I was really deep into powerlifting, my primary goal was to put on size. I wanted to be extremely muscular, extremely buff, extremely strong. I wanted people to see me and be like, dang, she's jacked. But then, of course, as I got really deep into school, fitness is kind of what had to take the back seat, which I knew was coming, but I definitely mentally was not ready for that to happen. And over the year that I student taught, I actually feel like I maintained pretty well. I did my student teaching. This is not related at all. I don't want to get off track. This is literally not even part of the question. What is my current fitness routine? You don't care about the backstory, or else you would have asked. My current fitness routine is very much like hypertrophy for legs, and then kind of just maintain / slightly lose size in the upper body. I definitely still want to be really strong, and I still want to have muscle on my body, but I don't want to be as like full, and I'm gonna cringe saying this word because I used to make fun of people who said it, but like I don't want to be as like bulky anymore as I used to be, especially because I'm not competing. So right now I do legs twice a week, and I do upper body twice a week, but I have like a squat day, and then other leg movements, and then a deadlift day and other leg movements. And honestly, it's mostly glute stuff at this point. And then on my upper body days, I have one day where I will bench press, because I still love to bench press and I still really want to be strong at it. And then I do like less reps and less sets of upper body stuff compared to lower body. And then my second upper body day, I just call it an accessory day. There's no compound movement, and it's just like accessory work. I'm still in the gym about maybe like hour and a half for a leg workout, where my upper body workouts are about 35 to 45 minutes. They're way faster because again, I'm going lighter. However, I will say that right now I'm feeling so good about where I am, like physically, health-wise too, because another thing is I very consistently do cardio now. I am eating in a deficit, so I'm losing weight, and just the combination of all of that with my workouts, I'm feeling really good about where I'm at, and I feel like I look really good, I feel really good, I'm super healthy, and I've struck that balance between wanting to be strong and still wanting to be muscular, but at the same time, not needing as much as I did before. Whatever powerlifting was for me in the past, I'm so grateful for it. However, I have just grown and changed so much that whatever I was seeking in that, I don't feel like I need anymore. So long story short, again, that wasn't the question. Let me just answer the question. Question 1, what is your fitness routine? It is 2 days of legs and 2 days of upper body, but the leg days I'm still going pretty hard, and the upper body days I'm in and out in like 45 minutes, and that's including the warm up and the stretching. So that is my current fitness routine. Question 2, will I compete again? So I guess it was kind of related. I am not against it, but I have absolutely no plan of competing again. I just don't, I'm very competitive, so maybe it sounds bad to say this. I don't know if I'll have fun if I'm not playing to win. And I know powerlifting is supposed to be you versus you, and you're just there to have a good time. I really think that's true all the time. I think if you go into it with that mindset, that's fine, and you know that from the start that that's who you're trying to be. But I was a competitor, and I have done 14 competitions, and I was always playing to win. So I don't think that in that specific capacity, I could take a step back. I think if I entered a new sport, like for example, I've been wanting to pick up running more and maybe doing like 5 and 10Ks, I can enter that sport with a me versus me mentality. I'm just in it for fun. I'm just in it to do my best, because I've never associated that already with being competitive. However, because I've competed in powerlifting, and because I did it at a high level, and because I won and I know what that feels like, I don't know that I will enjoy it if I'm not taking it as seriously as I did. And I also don't want to take it that seriously anymore. Therefore, will I ever compete again? I don't like to say never, because who knows, and maybe I'll wake up one day and say, I just want to do a meet and it's not that serious. But right now I know, like in my heart, it is that serious, and I don't want to train and play at that level anymore. So as of right now, I have no plans to compete again. Maybe I should continue my makeup. Okay, moving on to the next part is more Bare Minerals, and this is just their loose powder foundation in Golden Tan 20. And I use this like e.l.f. kabuki brush. So question number 3 goes into like love stuff. So what was your favorite or most memorable wedding moment? One thing I will say that I'm extremely grateful for is the fact that Nick and I actually eloped a year before our big wedding, but on the same date. So as everybody saw, like on Instagram and social media, we had our wedding on July 20th, 2024, and it was in Big Bear, and it was incredible. We rented out a mansion that slept 36 people, so our bridal parties as well as our family were able to stay on site, and we all got ready there and we spent the weekend there, which was perfect for what is technically a destination wedding. Even though Big Bear is not far from us, if you have to travel, it's still a destination. So having the convenience of all being on site and staying together for the weekend was so fun. But that was also our 1-year wedding anniversary, because a year before we went down to the courthouse and we eloped on the same exact date. And I loved that we did that, because it just allowed us to have that moment to ourselves. And a lot of people didn't know, unless you were like our friends or people that we really regularly saw in our lives. Nobody even knew that we were married. So we had this really private, really intimate first year of marriage that we really just shared between the two of us and our friends and family, which I really, really liked, as opposed to then the stress of planning a wedding and having a wedding, but you're also navigating being newly married. So it's like we already had that first year of marriage out of the way so that we could have a party and we could celebrate with our friends and family without taking away from the amazing fact that we had just gotten married and we were newlyweds. So I love that we did that. The actual like wedding itself, my favorite, most memorable thing was the fact that we stayed on site. It was just so cool, and it was just the most perfect place, and I cannot tell you how convenient it made absolutely everything. We had the place from Friday to Sunday, and the wedding was on Saturday. We got there Friday morning, the bridal party arrived shortly after, and we had all day Friday to just set everything up. We got comfortable, we got to explore like the mansion grounds, we got to just kind of be in that moment, and it took a lot of like the rush and the stress away because we had all day to do it. Saturday rolled around and we already knew everything was ready, which was so convenient and just took so much stress off of us. When the wedding was over, we got to stay another night. So definitely my favorite thing was the fact that we had lodging on site and we did it that way. Next I'm gonna do what is this even called? This is a Healthy Glow Sheer Powder by Chanel. I don't think it's technically a bronzer, but that's like kind of how I use it. It's just like this kind of warm brown that I like to put on my cheeks because it makes me look a little bit sun-kissed, especially in this winter we're having. So I just kind of like run it on my cheeks. The next question is, what's it like to be married to your high school sweetheart? So we started dating when I was a sophomore in high school and he was a junior. And now I'm going to use my highlighter. It's in Ivory Gold. Oh, and sorry, this last one was in B70. People always say like, oh, there must have been, something so special about your relationship to have known at such a young age. And to be completely honest, there wasn't. I wouldn't say that we were any different than literally any other high school couple. I knew Nick about 2 days before we started dating in true high school fashion. We had, this is a sidebar. I know, again, this is not related to the question, but I can't help it. We had the same chemistry class together. I kind of had a thing for his friend, so I was kind of starting to hang around them a little bit more in class. Honestly not paying any mind at all to Nick. So one day the friend wasn't there, and so Nick and I were just kind of sitting together because that kind of became our thing. We'd never really talked before, and we just kind of got to talking. What struck me about him was that he mentioned that he had family members who were adopted, and that was really big to me because I do as well. And I feel like at that point in life, you don't really meet a lot of people who either have that experience or are just willing to talk about it. So he tells me that, and that is instantly like a connection. From there, kind of like shifted away from the friend that I was interested in and then became more interested in Nick, and we got to know each other better. I say that as if it wasn't over the course of 2 days, but again, that's high school, so that's like 2 months. And so like 2 days after learning that, he asked me to be his girlfriend and we started dating, and we were just a normal high school relationship. We just never broke up. We're coming up on 12 and a half years together. But when I think about it too, like anyone who's been in a relationship this long, especially when you're growing up basically as children together, can probably understand the Nick I'm with now, like it's not even the same person. So it doesn't feel like we've been in this 12 and a half year relationship because we've become so many people. We basically were just lucky, and we say it all the time, how lucky that we grew together instead of grew apart. Because I think that's the number one thing, especially as you graduate high school, you start going to college, how many people are compatible, but then you just have different interests and you just naturally grow away. We just happen to grow in the same direction instead of apart. And next thing you know, we're like 3 to 5 people different than we used to be, but it still works together. And then at some point you just realize, oh, well, we've been together so long and I really like this, that you commit to growing together. I don't think you are destined to be with someone. Instead, you choose to be with that person every single day. So every day we wake up and we decide that we are together and we're gonna make it work. And that's what's more powerful than thinking you're meant to be with someone, because then when you go through tough times, if it's your soulmate, you throw up your hands because you say, well, if it was my soulmate, this would have never happened in the first place. We would have always just been perfect. But my perspective is that you will never be perfect with anyone. Instead, you find a person that you love and means something to you, and you choose to be with that person, and you choose to fight for it and do whatever it takes. I would say that the best thing about being with my high school sweetheart is just the shared memories, because I have lived so much life in the last 12 and a half years, and I tell Nick all the time that I cannot comprehend meeting someone new and having to fill them in. where would I even begin to try to catch someone up to speed? But the fact that he was there and he just knows because he experienced it with me just is this bond that I would never be able to find somewhere else. All right, next question. And while I answer that, I'm gonna curl my eyelashes. I will probably speed these next questions up because we're already 23 minutes into the video and I feel like my videos have been really long and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I'm gonna try to cut this one to hopefully not be so long. Those were really long first answers though. Where does my motivation come and how do I help others find it? Oh, that probably would have been better in the beginning when I was talking about fitness. My motivation, where does it come from? Probably being really hard on myself, to be completely honest. Like I said, I'm very competitive and I have a mindset that you're either a winner or a loser, and I want to be a winner. And I don't mean loser like a loser of a person, but I mean like if you're not first, if you don't win, then that means you lose. And I like to win. So, and that goes for anything I do. I like to be the best. I honestly don't know where this came from because I was not raised with this mentality at all. I was always naturally competitive, but my motivation comes from wanting to be the best of, even if that's just the best version of myself. I don't want to look back one day and think about the things that I could have done instead that would have worked out better. And honestly, life is pretty freaking awesome. And I'm just so grateful for the life that I live, that how could I not want to keep going, because I want to know what else is out there, what is available to me. And the universe has just so much abundance and there's so much to give if you just go take it, that how would I not? And that alone, it just like lights a fire in me. How do I help others find it? I think it's just about like, your mindset's contagious and you are who you surround yourself with. So I genuinely believe that you don't even need to say like, I want to motivate others, but if you are motivated yourself and you bring that energy around others, like how does it not rub off on people? It just does. I just feel like people match energy, and if you bring that energy, they're gonna bring it back to you. All right, next is mascara. I just bought this. It's so freaking cool. I had never seen this before in like Chanel. I was like, how the heck do you actually open this? And it's a little popper. Oh my God, that's so freaking cute. And then you like pull the wand out like that. The next question is Nick, does he have like carpentry skills? Like, was he trained in this? Like, where does this come from? Because Nick is building the house, which I think I've already talked about a lot. We have like hired some people here and there to help us with some things. For example, we hired someone to do the electrical simply because if Nick were to do it, it would just take so much longer than just bringing the pros in. And what else? We hired someone to help with the roof because again, he was doing it, but it was just taking so long and we were trying to get a move on because it was gonna start raining. So we brought someone in to help with the roof. And then we have people right now, actually this weekend, starting on like the stucco. And I'll input a video. It's like this tar paper and this chicken wire thing, and I have absolutely no idea, but basically we brought on people to do that as well. Other than that, Nick's family, his dad, has incredible friends who have also built houses before and are helping a lot, like a lot. And really that's it. It's just this guy group of friends, and I wish I had a better answer, and this is gonna sound so cringy, but I say this all the time. It's, oh my God, this is so cringy. I don't wanna say this out loud. It's the Bates way. They're very like traditional manly man of, it's like you either know how to do it or you figure it out, and there's literally no other option. So when it came time to consider building a house, there really was no option other than them doing it. And it's a lot of looking things up. It's a lot of having friends who have also done it before, and so they help a lot because they have the knowledge. Yeah, I wish I had a better answer because I feel like that's not helpful at all if you're trying to do it yourself. He told me when we were in high school he was going to build me a house someday, and I never doubted him for a second, and now we're here, so. Also, another huge thing, it is so expensive to hire people to build a house. Like, whatever you think the cost of building a house is, cut that in half, and that's the materials. double it to include the labor. Like literally when you build a house, half of the cost of the build is just labor. So if you can eliminate that by inviting over really handy friends and giving them beer and muffins, you will save so much money. It's actually insane because it's all labor. The materials are expensive, of course, but the real expense is the labor. Last thing I need to do is my eyebrows. This is disgusting because I don't get how people do their eyebrows like first, because your foundation goes everywhere. So my like stuff's really gross. It's like tinted to my foundation because I do my eyebrows last. Next is favorite books / book recommendations. So my all-time ever favorite book is Gone Girl, and it's the book that got me into plot twists. If you've never read it, read it, guess what the plot twist is, guess again, and you will still be wrong. It is just so incredibly written. It totally changed the reading experience for me, and I've been chasing that high ever since. But Gone Girl is, I always recommend it to anyone. But I'm like a murder mystery girl. Like my favorite author is James Patterson, which I know is so stupid because it's literally he literally writes the same book over and over again. I eat it up every single time. I don't care. It's literally the same book, just with different names of characters. It doesn't matter. I will read every single one. But I like the fast-paced style. I'm also really big on like a memoirs. So my favorite memoir is A Piece of Cake by Cupcake Brown. This girl's life, give this book like 5 or 6 pages and you will be just so mind blown already by her life, and it's an entire book. So it is just, her story is just so beyond unfathomable. I love memoirs like that. Glass Castle is a good one. Educated is a good one. I really liked the Jeanette McCurdy one about her mom dying. I just really like crazy, insane memoirs because it's just crazy to think people live like that. How is teaching? We've got 2 more questions. I love teaching. It's so fun. That's really all I say. I feel like when people ask me about it, they I don't really know what they expect me to say, but I'm just like, oh, it's good. But it actually like literally is good. I teach English to freshmen, and this year I also have sophomores, and everyone's always like, oh my God, freshmen. I request it. Every year they keep saying, hey, what do you want to teach next year? And I say, as long as I have freshmen, you can put me in any other period. If I have to do 2 subjects, give me freshmen. I love them so much. And it's so fun to teach them. It's so fun to teach at my alma mater. Honestly, I'm chilling with it. Like, I kind of think people expected me to be like, oh my God, it's so terrible. Oh my God, it's so hard. It's not. I mean, it has hard days, but I mean, I always knew I wanted to teach. That's why I became a teacher. So like, you know, like why wouldn't I like it? I think the number one thing people say, and this gets brought up a lot, is people say, oh, well, I heard it's not what it used to be. Like the kids are so different now, and that's true because of phones and dopamine and TikTok and blah, blah, blah. Like their brains actually are pretty fried a lot of the time. However, when people are like, oh, well, it's not what it used to be, I wouldn't know. Like I've only taught these kids. So to me, these kids are just the kids. I have nothing to compare it to. I have no previous experiences with them. What do I know? So to me, these are just the kids. So to me, it's normal. So I don't have this like resentment that I think a lot of other people do of like back in my day or blah, 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 like 10 years ago. I only know now, and I like them. Like they're such good kids. And high schoolers are just so like hated on by adults. We're not even gonna get into that. I like teaching. That's what I'll say. And lastly, what is my favorite thing I bought this year to round it all out? Oh my gosh, I didn't, clearly based on how much I've been talking, I actually didn't prep any of these questions beforehand, except for this one I had to actually think about. And I could not decide between 2 things. And I even thought if someone was like, hey, right now you only keep one and you give the other one away, I would have to say like, here, just pick one and take it because I don't know. And that is between my Prada purse. It's a re-edition. I think this is the re-edition 2005 in the Saffiano leather, and it's got like is this nylon? No, I don't know what this is. It has like the cloth strap, it has like the little pouchy, and you can wear it like this. You can take the chain off, you can take this thing off. I love this bag. It's the perfect size. This is my everyday bag. This is literally my baby, and I am so obsessed with this bag. I could not be happier with it. I use it all the time, and I love her. So that's my first pick. Well, they're even, so that's one. And then the other one is my Justin Clue mini model bracelet. I love this so much. This was like a really big milestone for me when I first kind of started getting into like jewelry and fashion and like luxury brands. I just knew I wanted to have this someday, and it took so long. It took a couple years for me to get there, and I was just so proud of myself when I finally got this for myself last year in December, I think. I don't remember if it was late November or early December, but I just love it so much, and I feel like I wear it every single day that I can't pick. Those are my two favorite purchases from last year. I breezed through those second half of the questions. My makeup is done. I'm on time, ready to go to my appointment, and that's my Q&A. So thank you guys so much for asking these questions. This was super fun. It was a really good like variety of stuff. I hope I can trim this down so that I'm not posting yet another like 20-minute video, but I kind of got ahead of myself in the beginning and didn't really think about how long I was gonna take to talk. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.